of the house. It's, again, it's gonna be expensive because of that. The lanai, that tree being dead and falling apart is falling on the lanai, breaking the screen. So I can't, again, that's an expensive process. If I get that fixed first, that tree is still gonna continue to die and drop branches on it, and still cost me money. We had drained the pool, to try to clean it out, but then, that tree, we're kind of put a stop to that, because, again, it's, has to be done in order process, to get rid of the tree, we can get the lanai fixed, once the lanai is fixed, nothing can fall into the pool, we can get that, I mean, I can drain the pool again to clean it out. But again, like I said, it's gonna cost a lot of money. It's not my house, it's my parents, they only allow us to live there because it's expensive for us to live anywhere else.
So what's your time frame?
If you can give me 120 days, I'll get rid of that pool, I'll get the lanai fixed, or, excuse me, I'll get rid of the, tree parts that have fallen, and then I'll get the lanai fixed, and I'll get and start working on the pool. The thing is, it may be, the only problem I have again is that tree is dying. A part of it fell off, eventually the rest of it.
Why can't you, the parts that have fallen off by the picture, can't you cut them up and take them away?
That's what I've been doing. And what the picture you saw there, it was a lot worse than that. The thing
It's
is,
still worse.
well, the problem is I've gotten to a point where the tree is heavy, it's this big, that's fallen. And it's, I'm old now. I mean, I can't, and I'm diabetic, which means that I can't work very long, and then it takes me the whole rest of the day to get to.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think within the next 7 days, you could put something up temporarily around those walls, the screen enclosure, so we can be sure that a child can't fall in it?
Yes, I can put it on our, I mean.
Can you do that within the next 7 days?
Excuse me, I just wanted you to see here, you would need to contact Development Services, Natural Resource Section about the tree. Okay, because you don't want to go cut down a tree and then get in trouble for cutting down a tree.
Oh, I'm not cutting it down, I'm just, the parts that have fallen is what I'm
Okay.
trying to get rid of.
All right, I just want you to be sure that before you do anything with that tree, you need to contact Development Services. You don't want to have a violation.
Is your pool pump working now?
Yes, it was working when it had water.
So it is working.
And does it have water in it now?
Yes,
And it's discolored, you can't see the bottom of the pool?
correct.
The issue is a child could come and fall in, and we couldn't see the child if the cup water is in that condition. If they pull down a tarp that you had put up to try to keep them out, it's still a life issue, a life-saving issue to have that pool be clear and to keep any child or anyone, for that matter, animal to be getting in there. So those are the critical issues that you really address quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, good way.
Are you here representing your mother, or,
Yes, I live at the house.
so she knows that you're here?
I'm prepared to make motion.
Go ahead.
I move in case CE 2201503, that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $700 a day be assessed.
We have a motion for 3 days, $700, any second?
Is that serious?
I think, I agree with that.
Okay, for discussion permit, then you want to change the motion to 7?
Reluctantly, I'll change it to 7. I think this is a terribly serious issue, and that's why so 7 days and 700 a day.
Okay, 7 days, $700, 80 seconds.
Second, Durazio.
All right, all in favor?
I,
Okay, so you get 7 days, $700 a day. Pass that on to your parents. It's gonna happen.
Serious.
He's not gonna get the. All right, next case.
For case 7, number 14, case number CD22014195. The owner is Russell Smith and Dave Lindsay, 18108 Lake Reflections Boulevard. We have surface and we have someone here for this case. It looks like the person that was here has left.
Let's go
You want to go ahead
ahead.
and hear it, says inspectors. Please.
This is case CE 220149195. I am Officer Sarah Franco with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 18018 Lake Reflections Boulevard, Lutz, Florida 33558. The property is owned by Russell Smith and Dave Lindsay, not occupied and not foreclosure. The property was first inspected December 1st, 2022, and has had 14 site visits conducted. The only active case for this parcel. I originally identified 3 violations during my first inspection. Over the course of my follow-up visits, 2 violations have been complied. The remaining violations include pool sanitation. There was a house fire last year which had the meter box removed and the electricity shut off. He's in the process of renovating his home. He's having issues getting the electricity put back on. Contractors are giving him hard time, so, but he did fix the enclosure, so there's no way to get it in unless it gets cut open. So, the enclosure's brand new. That was part of the original violation.
What do you recommend?
Honestly, I would give him 30 days because he's had a rough time with his contractors
can you just continue it?
or continue it.
Can you continue it?
Yes.
If he doesn't have a meter on it, he's obviously he's not gonna get the full clean. And if he's working on the house, trying to get a permit, he's not gonna get a meter. until he gets the permit. Is he working on getting a permit?
They have a contractor, but I don't know what's exactly going on in between the contractor and him, and it's just been delayed. He's supposed to be back in his house about 2 months ago.
How long ago was the fire?
Last year, I think, last January, I think it was.
And there's not a permit pulled on it yet.
They're working on it.
But they're working on it, but there's not a permit though.
There should be. I mean, that's not my department, so, I mean,
They're not gonna grant any permit until the fire department or somebody's gonna have to release it.
Well, we got, we know our concerns are with enforcement. So,
How is he gonna get full sanitation without a full pump?
he's been out there almost every day trying to scrape it, and when I went out on Monday, it was better. It was still kind of dark, that's why we're here. So, because eventually I'll just go right back to the same thing.
anyway, anybody want to make a motion? Any further questions?
Do we know if the pool was working or not?
No, there's no electricity to the house whatsoever. That's what he's waiting for.
You recommended 30 days.
Honestly, yes, because he's having issues.
As long as there's no access to the pool.
Yeah, the enclosure's brand new. They have that redone.
I move in case number 220141195, that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes and ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 30 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, an amount of $250 a day be assessed.
Any seconds?
I second it.
Second by Michael, all in favor?
Opposed?
Okay, so we got one, let's do a roll call. Can we do a roll call? All right, let's just, all right, we got 3 fours and 1 against, so 30 days, $250 a day. Due to technical difficulties. Moving on, next page.
KJ number 16, case number CD 22014462. The owners are Paul Lee White House and Steel Yippee White House, 2501 Lake Edland Circle, in service. This case, good morning, Mr. No, I'm sorry, I heard you. Raise your right hand, please. Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful.
Yes, I do.
And your name and address.
Ronald Wayne, Burtonfish,
Sir.
Ronald Wayne, Burtonfish, 8551 West Riverwood Drive, Florida.
And representing the owner here.
Yes, I'm a contractor that was solicited by the son.
Is, you know, is that the property in the picture?
Yes.
Okay.
Cynthia Gonzalez, code enforcement. This case CE 2201446, located at 2501 Lake Ellen Circle. This is owner occupied by Celia White House, zone RSC6. My first initial inspection was on 12/7/22. After the violations, commercial vehicle, recreational vehicle connected, outside open storage, and accumulation. On 2/6/23, I was scheduled an inspection authorized by the attorney, Tim Haynes. At that time, I responded with my manager, Laura George. Mrs. Whitehouse refused to sign the consent form. She had her contractor, Ron Fish, speak in her behalf. He stated that they needed at least 6 months to resolve the issues, and here we are.
First of all, I was called to this, or to her home by her son, right after her father, or her husband's death. During the process of that, I assisted them in remediation on the house, replacing the roof, getting a roofer in there, doing these, and cleaning up the fence. The vehicle that they're considering commercial, according to the county ordinance, is not a commercial vehicle. It is in fact less than a 3500. My Dodge Dually truck that I use every day is greater than, has a greater capacity. So my concern was only the vehicle being classified as commercial, but it is used to pull the son's RV that's there for the remediation process and to assist his mother. And I commend him for taking the time out of his life to help his mother with the death of the father. And so I'm here on behalf of that because I didn't see a violation. I do code remediation. I'm an engineer and a contractor. I do this all the time. I usually find something that I can fix, draw, design, or do something to correct. I could not find anything to correct. So I reached out to her. She denied my phone call. I contacted my attorney, and then he was shunted by her. And then the second thing was I requested a meeting. I went there and I said, well, the only real issue is the vehicle. Is it classified as commercial or not? And according to your statutes, the ordinance, it's 3,500 or less capacity. So now I'm asking for a determination from you, is it commercial or is it, can it be there? Our son's vehicle, can it be there while he's helping her?
Okay, question for you. First of all, you're addressing the commercial vehicle as a specific item, but there are other things, the accumulation, the outside storage, and recreational vehicles.
We haven't gotten to those yet, but yes, sir, the primary one would be
That's
commercial.
part of violations.
Well, the outside storage violation is during the process of remediation. I had brought in a trailer with, I don't know if you can see the new roof on it, the soffit, the fascia, the trailer. These are construction-related items, so that I don't really consider that. The permit was active and it's completed. And then the windows were changed out, permitted, completed, and then I'm in the process of the remaining part of her house, which is additional windows. I replaced the broken ones first. So this is a construction project that's in process to help the mother go through this process.
You have an active permit that you're working on?
I do not have an active permit if they're completed. So the next set of permits, as I was requested by her son, to go take care of their other items, which is the other windows in the house, and upgrade them. They're not broken. I changed the broken ones. Those have already been done. The roof has been done. The soffit's been done. The accumulation of debris within a trailer, that went to the dump when the project was, when the permit was final. So that is gone. So I'm not sure that I have a violation.
How about the recreational vehicle?
The recreational vehicle was too close to the fence. So during the process, the initial process, I had them retract the awning, which that left the 5-foot setback. But then we took the vehicle and I said, look, let's just move it so you can keep the awning on. The connection to this, because I'm an engineer, I was solicited to help. So it's a brand new RV this year, brand new. He come down to his mom's. We were converting it to solar with lithium cells, which requires connecting it up, charging it, doing these processes. So when I'm there, I service the vehicle. And so that when it's completed, his standalone vehicle, he can go back home to where he lives and have it completed while he's helping his mother. So I'm asking time for this to go through the completion process, go through the remediation at the property, which is anything that her husband had accumulated, anything that was there to be liquidated. The lawnmower's been sold, she don't mow the yard anymore, her husband can't, he's gone. So that we have a lawn maintenance guy that does that, the lawnmower's gone, the other car is gone. So that I'm thinking that it's just a time factor before there isn't a code issue at all, or even a concern.
Okay.
And so I'm asking for that time.
What just
Good
respond to these things?
Good afternoon. I'm Eric Tyne, the area supervisor. I responded to the initial inspection with Officer Gonzalez on the first day that she went out there. She had encountered someone that was extremely hostile and had called and asked for some assistance. The vehicle that we're looking at right now has an upgraded rear axle, 4 rear wheels. It's a flatbed truck fitted with rails. It's got barrels and other materials and equipment in the back. When you have when you're trying to determine if a vehicle is commercial, you spoke to the definition. The first thing to look at is it capable of carrying more than 1 ton. This is a Freightliner Sprinter, and according to the manufacturer's marketing material, it's rated to carry up to 7,500 pounds. So clearly we're over 1 ton. The other is, what is it intended to be used for? Well, all of their marketing materials show activities such as landscaping, construction, site work, things of that nature. It is clearly intended by the manufacturer for a commercial purpose. This is not your average minivan that you hop in and drive down the road to Publix. This is a work truck. Unfortunately, if this was an agricultural zoned area with more than 1 acre of land, you can have it, not a problem. It's a residential neighborhood and it's not permitted. A commercial vehicle cannot be in a residential neighborhood. It can't be parked, stored, unless it's just there and being delivered. The owner's son, stated when we were there that he does have land elsewhere that he can keep it, but he is staying with his mother, and while he stays with his mother, he's parking his truck there. He can't do that. It's just yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. The vehicle can't be there. This was a complaint. This wasn't something that we just went to and stirred up. This was a complaint that Officer Gonzalez received, and he responded to it.
About the response that he gave regarding the outside open storage, accumulation, and recreation.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. I'm sorry.
How about the other items that are in the violation, accumulation, outside open storage, and recreational vehicles?
So the RV, as the gentleman said, was cited for being too close to the property line. I think it had utilities connected to it. I think there was a hose connected to it. I believe that is now, that's now in compliance. I believe that's been taken care of. The open storage and things like that in the rear yard, there was just different materials, scrap, things like that, that was visible through the fence. As you can see, these pictures are taken through holes in the fence. The sun came out while we were there and started patching up the fence, which I probably would have done the same thing. So I can't fault him for that, but we were able to see the conditions in the rear yard before we did that. And unfortunately, we can't comply with those conditions until we can re-inspect.
Two things on the truck.
Yes, sir.
Number one, whose name is the truck in?
It's in the son's name and it's used to pull the RV. It has to be that
Is
capacity.
the son's name in the, does he own the company? Is it the son's company's name?
He's disabled. He's disabled with heart problems. He's on disability. He came to help his mother when his father died. That vehicle pulled his RV there. It will pull it when he leaves. And then oops, it's gone. But the stake sides and the little piece that was put on there, we put on that, ordered through Harbor Freight. In order to allow him to put his recreational vehicle in the back, you're disabled, how do you get an RV or a four-wheeler or anything in there to go with this RV? So that purpose was added to the truck.
Is there any lettering on that truck, on the doors or anything?
No,
No, there's not.
no,
Actually, if you'd like
and it
to-
has less capacity than my Dodge Dually 3500. So I'm saying that it does not, it meets all the ordinances provided.
I have the marketing material here, which will provide maximum payload, 7,430 pounds, maximum towing capacity, 7,500 pounds, I'm also concerned with that. And it shows it being used for landscaping, site work.
That's,
Things of that nature. I do, if I can, just respond to a few things that you said. If the truck is being used to tow the. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on that. But the other things he said he's doing, converting the RV to solar, things like that.
That's me.
Working on the RV, that's not permitted in residential zone, you can't do that there anyways. So.
working on the RV is irrelevant to converting the battery backup system. And so when I'm there, I'm converting it to solar. I have been converting it to a lithium cell solar to be independent, very unique, brand new RV being a lot of money spent to convert this. It's used for recreational vehicle. It's used by her son who's there to help her. I'm not sure that we need to push this to a code case.
Is there anything else you need to get a building permit on?
When I put the remaining windows, I'm thinking there's 5 or 6, I'll have another permit on it. There is,
When will this be?
whenever she allows me, I'm saying anytime we.
Well, this may be a little bit more important than putting the solar on top of an RV.
Okay, well, that's almost completed. All of it is right now, that's almost completed. So that as far as anybody living or using it, it's just stored while he's there helping his mom. And it can be placed in the backyard if he chooses that. He did acquire that for the purpose of the RV. And it will leave with him when he goes.
How long is the son going to be living with the mother that he needs the RV there, where he gets pulled away?
I suspect that, here's my plan. And again, it's a money thing for the mother and the son, because the son's paying for this. He's helping his mother. So that we're gonna change the windows, that's the first thing. We're gonna remediate the insides, the fixtures, the age of the house. Her husband had failed with health with cancer, and I'm thinking it's time to remediate this house, put his mom back on track. The outside of the house is immaculate, well kept. The fence, since the son came there, the fence has been repaired, painted, the roof has been replaced at his expense. the windows, the back porch, the soffit, the fascia. We have one more porch to do for that, and I help him. I haven't charged him for these functions. This is free.
How much time in order to get everything in compliance?
Well, I don't see anything that's not in compliance, is what I'm saying to you.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, the RV can be there. It just has to meet the setbacks, and they moved it over, so it's that, but it is still connected, so they do have to disconnect it. But it can be on the property, so that's not an issue. Just want to clarify that. It just can't be connected and it can't be occupied. It has to meet setbacks.
With a commercial vehicle, that's a violation.
Commercial vehicles gotta go.
All right.
And
Recreational vehicle, you say comply if you go over there and check it out.
yeah, we need to inspect the rear yard to make sure everything's been cleaned up. We need to make sure the RV is no longer connected. It has been moved over, but we can't see whether or not it's still connected. We can't see whether or not the rear yard.
I had requested that they provide or delineate what it is they speak of as being debris. Is it the child's playhouse? What is it it needs to be clarified? It never was clarified. I requested an attorney to send a letter. They did not respond or delineate these facts. So I'm thinking that they were delinquent in their duties. They should have responded. I was trying to resolve it before it came to you. And so I'm here because it wasn't resolved on my efforts to resolve this.
Okay, Mr. Fish, first of all, I tried to speak to you that day that I came, and you pretty much brushed me off.
I asked you to resolve the
I'm
case.
speaking, sir. Let me speak. Okay. So if you see in the photos, if you see in the photos through the fence, the slats, there's junk trash debris in the trailers. There's car parts right there where that arrow is. Outside open storage, there's about 2 or 3 toolboxes. That's outside open storage. Can I have that there? When you say that I tried not, I'm trying to explain to you that day. I also explained it to the attorney. I also explained it to Mrs. Whitehouse, and here we are.
Yes. The outside storage toolbox outside the house has to be covered. It's her husband's. It's sitting outside. It's not in the garage. I don't consider that a violation. A toolbox is, come on now, let's think about this. Everybody has a toolbox, a motorcycle, a mini bike or something. So that I don't consider that debris or something that's going to cause a problem for the neighborhood. It's in a private 6-foot fence. I don't understand the conditions that are placed upon this
All
one.
right, yeah, how about this? We set up a time frame. The inspector comes out there and shows you what was completely wrong on these violations. We gave you 7 days, $500 a day. It's either you come in compliance or they testify to that fact that it's not in compliance.
Yes,
So I'm trying to get to a nice medium where you're cooperating with them.
I would like that.
Okay, now what time frame can we have?
I would like 90 days, and I'll tell you why that is. I would like to pull a permit to put a little cover to keep the lawnmower, the little motorcycle that her husband had. I would like to keep those there for right now until they liquidate.
All right,
So I would like that period of time.
Let me ask you, is 90 days acceptable to you?
I'm requesting 30 days. 30 days.
I couldn't do a set of drawings and get a permit in that time frame. It's not possible.
Only because the initial visit was in December. Now here's almost 5 months later, and now he's requested 90 days.
I'm requesting for it to be dismissed, and now that it's not, I'm moving forward into resolve. Resolve is, I need time to take care of it, and that's what we'll do.
Okay, Laura?
This is Laura George with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I met a contractor at the property with Officer Gonzalez. And when I pointed out the things that were in the backyard, he stated it belonged to her husband, they needed time to get rid of it, liquidate it, and my recommendation was stored in the RV that's sitting there. That gets it off the property, it gets it undercover.
It's not possible. The RV doesn't have a storage capability of it. It's a travel, doesn't have storage. So you couldn't put her husband's motorcycle in there who passed away. You can't do that. Or
In order to store something there, it can't actually be under just the roof. Doesn't it have to be closed in three sides?
three sides.
Three sides.
So that's what I would like to do. If that would solve the problem, allow her to keep forward and finish the process of remediation on the house. If that's what's necessary, we'll have to build the structure to allow her that time and be in code compliance. And I'm okay with that. I'll do it. And I'll donate these.
Carmen, if you were going to say something,
One is I'm requesting that the board exercise time period of testimony. Second, it is evident that I see sitting over here that this individual is very combative, and it's his way or it's no way.
okay.
And the third is there are alternative sources to store these things that he wants. He's looking to build what he wants and have both storage facilities. So there are avenues to resolve this issue. It's just not the way that this individual wants it. It's not
What do you feel would be?
30 days.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right. Make a motion on this?
I'm prepared to make a motion. In case CE 220144662, I move that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation and the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 30 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 a day be assessed.
Any seconds?
I second it.
Seconded by Michael, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, sir, 30 days?
You're absolutely saying the vehicle is commercial. This statement right here, are you saying that the RV that he uses to pull motor coach is commercial?
Sir, yes, the answer is yes to you, and the decision has been made. And we have done with this hearing. Thank you, sir.
Page 9, number 18. Case number CE 22013304. The owners are Caesar Avila and Sandra Avila, 8804 Marshall Lane, Camp Service, and what to do with this.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Raise your right hand, please. Please swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. And state your name and address.
I'm Marta. I'm Cesar's mom. The address is 8804 Marcia Lane, Kingston, Florida, 33524.
Is he going to testify? Are you going to, is he going to testify?
It's under his name. Yeah, he's Cesar.
You going to testify?
I,
Just you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the property in the photo there? Is that your property?
yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, Board. Brian Lance, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Conducted a follow-up on an act of foreclosure, which is now closed on November 4th, 2022. Arrived at 84 Marcia Lane. I observed an untagged trailer and the yard carport scattered trash accumulations of tires and appliances. I just spoke to the property owner a few minutes ago, and it looks like they're pretty much cleaned up and everything has a tag based on the photo that you showed.
Yes, ma'am.
I already cleaned most of it. All the cars are moving. It has tank, trailer, and everything.
How about the inoperable vehicles?
All moving,
All move?
yes.
So you're told, you said kind of partially move through all the stuff. When are you gonna have it totally done? 7 days?
Yeah,
All right.
I move in case number CE 22013304, based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved at that date, a fine of $250 may be assessed.
Any seconds?
I second it.
Second by Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's 7 days, $250.
okay.
With the officer, he'll come out and check it out. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, the next case.
Page 10, number 9.
Sorry, I slipped into my duties.
Page 10, number 19, case number CB 22013941. The owner is Miguel Dixon, 11707 Carver Street. We have service. It's number 19 on the agenda. So raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and address,
Miguel Dixon.
and address,
You want me to state the property address or?
preferably your mailing address.
It is 10915 on Creek Drive. That's in Riverview, Florida, 33579.
Thank you. And is that property in the front of your property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Officer Ippolito Padilla, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case came to code enforcement on 11/22/2022.
Can you sit down next to the mic? Or lift up the mic? There you
I'd rather hold it because it's hard for me to get up, so I don't want to.
go. Get it clean in here.
Again, it came into code on 11/22/2022. Is that better? I was not the original inspector, however, it was cited for accessory use, primary use in a commercial vehicle. Commercial vehicle was since compliant, however, there was a metal storage container that was still on the property. Also, if you saw on the photos, there's a lot of other material, household stuff that encircles that whole inside of that fence, plus that trailer there. So that's why we're here today.
But you didn't,
I last inspected it on 4/12, and then on 4/12, it was still like it is.
so right now, your violation is accessory use without primary.
Yes, sir.
Not accumulations or anything of that nature.
No.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon again. So I just purchased this property because, a few months ago, before this hurricane, I lost all my property and stuff, so I just was able to have a saving to save up on purchase this property. Upon purchasing the property, I lose all my business, everything. I try to comply with what he told me to do. I already gave away one of the trailers, so that's about to pull a permit because I'm about to pay it because I lost all my stuff from the hurricane.
So how much time you say you need before you get it in compliance?
At least 120 days because I was in the hospital, I was in a car accident, I've been trying to, hold it back, like I said, I've been going shoes with the heart. So I need at least 120 days so I can at least get some stuff, because I have surgery coming up next few weeks. So I have to get
Is it just a matter of moving that connex? Is that-
Well, yeah, it's more than, yes, that's the main thing, but he's got like a household full of stuff.
That's accumulation.
Yeah. I will call it open outside storage, because it's not junk, it's just, it's like his personal stuff from inside the house, he just throw it in the yard. What's your plans of doing with the stuff that's in the connex?
Some of the stuff is that, as I said, got a lot of parents, even through COVID and stuff, so some stuff were on personal, I'm about to, build someone and use it, so I can store the building material and about to try to see if I can even return it there, or even ask them about RV, because I have RV, but I'm put it somewhere else, I can put it in the property.
It's a vacant lot, he's not supposed to have that. To put an RV, couldn't deal with violation.
How do you feel about the 120 days? I mean, it's,
Me personally, I would say 60, because it may take him some time to get that connex box out there. Clean up, other than that, I wouldn't do 120 days.
you will not, or
No, sir.
60 days would be appropriate?
And only because, like I said, it might call it taking some time to get that big container out of there.
Any other questions, board? Anybody want to make a motion?
As I stated, I'm about to do surgery. I was in a car accident a few months ago. I'm about to do surgery. I'm gonna be done for a while. I need some time, honestly. I can't move it because right now, as I said, I've been going through it. I lost everything what I have. I'm just trying to keep faith, trying to stay positive. I need some time to really do that thing. My leg right now, I've been sitting here all morning, I've been in pain.
I'm sorry for your inconvenience, but, you know, we have policy here too. You know, it's not like you're gonna go in there and do this stuff personally yourself. They move that connex, you just take it.
Majority of it, I was doing it myself because I don't have money, you have to have money to pay other people to do it.
Well,
Was this a complaint that you went out on, or? Like I said, I was not the original one, but I believe there was a complaint. Oh, yeah, it was a routine.
Let me say one thing again, before I bought this property too, I have pictures, where I could show the property was in worse mess. And I went in there, and I go in there, I clean it up, I do whatever, cause I just get it, I didn't know, I wasn't trying to violate, I'm not, I didn't know. Just trying to, get back on my feet because I lost everything.
okay, any other questions for board members? Anybody want to make a motion? No?
So what you're saying is you want to try to keep that there long enough for you to get a permit to build something, and then once you get the permit, you'll be removing that?
I will, and also what I was thinking, because I was asking, what's the setback? Because.
You can't keep that on residential property, period.
And he explained that.
It's got nothing to do with the setback.
No, what I was saying, the setback, of trying to see if I could put a temporary home, that was, manufactured home, see if I could get one of those manufactured homes.
It's not up to us to tell you what the zoning is, I don't think, what you could put there or not. That would be a building department question as far as the zoning goes. I'm not sure, and Laura may be able to answer the question. I think if you pull a permit, would they give him a certain amount of time to put an RV there while he built the house? No?
No, they don't
Okay.
typically do that. Also, what we're looking at here, it doesn't even sound like he has engineered drawings, he hasn't been.
So it's gonna be quite a while.
Reviewed. Correct.
I'm working at it, I'm trying to comply, it's just hard, because, when you lost everything and you're trying to get back on your feet, trying to stay positive, you don't wanna give up, it's real hard.
How long did you say? How many days? 60. How many days? 60. I'd like to make a motion. I'm moving to case number, which was that, 19?
See,
2201, 3941. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the property in violation of Hillsborough County Codes ordinance as listed in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I grant 60 days to come into compliance. And compliance, if the compliance is not achieved by the date, a fine of $350 per day assessed.
Second, Clayton.
second by Clayton, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, 60 days, 350. Work out. Good luck with the surgery.
On your hat.
Thank you. Next case.
Okay, number 20, case number C, 2201-4917. The owner is Aaron S. Drake. 10013 Sarver, Maryland. We have service. So raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
State your name and address.
Aaron Drake, 5403 Kelly Road, Plant City.
Okay, Mr.
Again, I'm also the Dean of Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case came to code on 12/19/2022. The last inspection on 4/12/23, zone RSC2. This particular parcel is one of three. This is the first parcel. Again, I was not the original signer, but it was cited for accumulations, it was cited for fences, inoperable vehicles, open storage, and was even cited for agricultural animals, but that was compliant. He had a cow on the property. And he removed it. Doing some research on this case has been cited. The board orders on this case from 2018 for inoperable vehicles and also for open outside stores. It's a lot of stuff on this property. You have to see it to know what I'm saying. There was some accumulations on the backside of that fence, which the other officer that originally had this case, he complied with the violation. But I would like to ask that accumulations, there be something saying remain in compliance on that, because that's a lot of what the problem is.
So right now, Mr. Hippo, we've got three items that are repeat violations, which are the accumulations, inoperable vehicles, and outside open storage. Fences is a new.
Fences, yes.
Is a new violation.
On the back side of the property, the fences leaning over, it needs to be in repair.
Okay, and third?
I started off with Officer Gay, talked with him about 3 times. You're showing a different parcel right here. What I'm here for today is the house 113 Sarver Manor that I'm aware of. I called him the week before Good Friday, and I called his voicemail again on Good Friday, and then this past week, last week, I finally spoke with him. Prior to that, I've never spoke with him. The property behind me is agricultural, just been sitting, started making payments on the property in 05, put a fence up. The storms put trees on my fence, knocked down. Nothing was ever said. There was homeless people living back there. There's all kind of garbage, trash on the wooded property that you see behind that house. That now is greenbelt. For some reason, they get greenbelt on a piece of property that can't support cows. And that's who called on me, because their trees fell on my fence. And I cut them up and moved them some years ago. I've taken the fence down. I'm not putting the fence back up because they put up the fence.
As far as accumulations on that piece of house, that right there where the house is, there are none. The other part, when you saw the camper, there's still stuff there. You know, for vehicles, I don't know where they're at on the property right now. But 113 is what we're here for, and that piece is compliant. That's where the little tractor's sitting at.
How much time do you think you need in order to get?
Well, ask the officer what he thinks, sir. Ask the officer what he thinks I need. I mean, the 113 is squared away, the house. I mean, I've got another court date, which you told me on the phone, correct?
No, I did not check that on sub, you asked me the time frame. It's apparent you've been going through this for quite a while and nothing's been done, so, that's why we're here. Because you got the plane on, you come out, you inspect, you tell you what's going on, nothing's been removed. You got 2 other parcels in there the same way. So, it's my opinion, you had time. You already aware of what's going on, because you got court orders already against you, you already been told before what the problem is. Nothing has changed since then.
All right, so, he asked you the question, how much time do you feel would be appropriate for him to get?
Well, he's got a lot of stuff.
Give me a
For that particular parcel, maybe 30, maybe something like that, 30 days. Because he's got 2 others, but we're just talking about that one, but he's got stuff, yeah. It'll take him a little time, to 30 days.
But let me understand for sure, I do not have another court date on those other parcels.
No, we're not here for that, just this one, yeah.
I'm pretty slow, I'm not.
We got cases on them, but they're not coming to court yet. There's only one that's here today that we're here on. So you're still responsible for cleaning them up.
No, I understand, but I mean, I'm saying that parcel there is squared away to 113, but those others by no means are at this point.
So then what I'm gonna have to do is come out after the day and see that what you're saying is valid, then I have to sign off on it.
All right.
So it's your testimony today to us that, the property at 10013 Sarver Manor is in compliance with these violations all taken care
The violation, go ahead.
of, except for the fence.
There is no fence anymore, I'm sitting down.
And I said they're all in compliance.
Yes, ma'am.
The motion with fence is not there.
I'm prepared to make a motion. In case number 22014917, with items number PM 12.1 accumulations, item PM 12.5 inoperable vehicles, and item Z 203 outside open storage, I find that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is again in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances listed in the staff's presentation, and of the previous order dated 12/18/2018, case number CE 180133373. This constitutes a repeat violation as defined in the Florida statutes. Further, therefore, I grant 7 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 per day to be assessed. I move in case. Additionally, a fine of $300 a day per occurrence will be imposed if any repeat violations after compliance is achieved. Okay. I move in case number CE 22014917 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Codes or Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 7 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 a day be assessed. This is for item PM 12-4 fences.
Seconds?
A second.
Okay, you all in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, basically, since everything's in compliance,
Sir?
basically, since you stated everything's in compliance, it's a matter of the inspector coming out and verifying that.
Just on the 113, just on the house.
Just on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right,
Have a good day.
great, you too.
I'll expect to see you sometime.
Sir.
All right. Good luck with your stuff.
Page 14, number 27, case number CE 22012640. The owner is Leonardo Prado and Leonardo Rosales Batista. 5814 North Hill Avenue, Union Service.
Which case is it? 14 and 27.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And state your name and address. Name and address, please.
Okay, Leonardo Prada. 68 14 North Hill Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 614.
Are you gonna translate for me?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Code Officer Hernandez, County Code. I'm here to represent case number CE 22012640. This property was inspected initially on, dated 10/17/2022. The property was found to have a commercial vehicle. It was cited accordingly. Good. Efforts were made initially to contact the owners. I did make contact with occupants who I would let to believe were owners of the property. Property was posted, cited accordingly. Not until today, I actually met the actual owner outside. He explained to me that the vehicle that's in the picture there is no longer on the property. And we'll go from there, in that part.
So basically, he's saying you think that one.
That's what he's stating. I haven't, we just spoke a little while earlier today, and that's what he's telling me.
Yes, he's basically saying he apologized, he had no idea it was other family members, but they're no longer there, and the truck is no longer there as well.
So we give him an order, 7 days, black
He'd be
dollars.
good to go.
He better not bring it back. Okay?
Understood.
Good.
Make a motion. I move in the case number 2201 and 2640, that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation and actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 7 days to come into compliance, and if the compliance is not achieved by that day, the fine of $300 per day will be assessed.
Seconds?
Second.
Second by DeRozio, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? 7 days, $300, don't do it again.
Thank you, sir.
You don't want to see me.
Thank you.
Okay, turn to page 23 under contest. Number 43, case number CE 2000-3218. The owner is Taylor Road Properties LLC, 9601 Taylor Road. This is a contest of the inspector's initial finding of non-compliance. The property has now been confirmed in compliance, but at the initial inspection, the inspector found it was not. Yes, ma'am. State your name and address, please.
My name is Michael Jones. My address is 3134 North Boulevard, Tampa, Florida, 23603. I'm the attorney for the property owner. I do want to make a correction to what was stated. I have filed an amended and then a second amended notice of contest. I don't know if it made it to your files. I emailed it to the Citizen Support Board yesterday. I brought copies with me. If that will help you, because the basis of our contest has changed.
We're gonna keep those.
I'd like to make a brief opening statement, if I may, please.
Violations.
That's all right, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a brief opening statement.
No, not yet. But the inspector make a brief opening statement.
Very good.
Good afternoon, Chris Masson, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Case number CE 2000-3218, located at 9601 Taylor Road, owned by Taylor Road Properties LLC, zoned RSC2 with 20 inspections, not in foreclosure. Property was first inspected 37 months ago on 3/4/2020 for excessive dwellings. During my inspections, I have talked with the property owner and his attorney. I conducted my final inspection at the attorney's request on 2/28/2023, and where I signed the affidavit of compliance. On 9/23/2023, I took pictures at the board's ordered request to see if the property was in compliance or not in compliance, and you can see the pictures down on the PowerPoint are time stamped and dated on 9/23. The property still had 3 residents on it instead of the required 2. I was in the area February 15th, 2023. On another case, I drove by and still observed the property in the same condition, and fine run status continued. On 2/28/2023, like I stated, Mr. Jones and I had a conversation. I told him I'd go out to the property and I would inspect it. The violations were gone. I signed the affidavit of compliance, and that was pretty much that. They are compliant now.
My brief opening statement, if I may.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, before I call the witnesses so the board understands the issues that we're presenting to the board. The order required my client to be in compliance by September the 20th. He was not. He did move the trailer by September the 27th, which these witnesses will all testify to. As Officer Mason says correctly, on September the 23rd, he did inspect the property. However, if you'll see his affidavit of non-compliance, it's dated February the 6th of 2023. That's 136 days after the inspection. Now, Section 14-27D of the Hillsborough County Ordinance requires that the notice of finding of non-compliance shall be mailed to the violator. It wasn't mailed to my client until 2 days after Officer Masson signed the affidavit. That letter went out on February the 8th. Now, as fate would have it, I was out of the country from February the 9th, February the 22nd, came home sick, but my client got a hold of me shortly thereafter. I got a hold of Officer Masson. I said, what's going on? That trailer was moved a long time ago. We had, quite frankly, a bit of a disagreement. But then he went out and looked at it and made a finding of compliance. My problem is that without the violation having been mailed contemporaneously to the inspection, my client had no reason to believe that there had been a finding of non-compliance. He had no reason to believe that there had been an ongoing lien assessed against his property. So there was no reason to take any action. If that had been done contemporaneously, as due process requires, then my client would have taken the action that he took when he got the letter, which is call me, I call the officer, hey, go look at the property, it's been moved. In all due respect to Officer Madison, he's mistaken about what he thinks he saw on February the 15th of 2023, because that trailer had been moved a long time before. I also have an affidavit to present to the board from a tenant whose trailer faces where that trailer used to be. He has to work today, he couldn't be here. So that's the issue that we have, is the amount of the lien. The lien, which is now $40,000, should be $1,500. He was 6 days late at the rate of $250 a day. So it's high by about $38,500, which is a substantial amount of money. So when the board's ready, I'll begin presenting it.
First, let me make a comment real quickly here. He is correct about the date of the affidavit. There was a glitch in the system that caused the affidavit not to come out when it should have. Didn't get caught till several months later. So the notice was not sent till much later than the actual inspection. And that does happen from time to time. I guess probably due to the volume of cases.
Also, it is the violator's responsibility, if the property was in compliance at the date he says, which I don't agree, to contact me or the officer to go out there and promptly do an inspection, which wasn't done. I was contacted on the 28th, and once he contacted me, he said he was just out there a week or 10 days prior, and it wasn't there. So I'm like, I will go out there, because we've had extensive conversations, and we're frank with each other, and I'm like, I will go out there and I will re-inspect. I will drop what I'm doing, and I went and did it. And I signed the affidavit of compliance. I asked him if he had pictures or any type of material stating that this was gone or removed, and the answer was, no, I didn't. So if he would have had any type of material, pictures, tow trucks, taking them off with receipts, bank statements, or whatever, that would have helped address that, we wouldn't be sitting here today. But he didn't have that, and I asked for that. So with that, I go by with what I see, and what I seen, it was not in compliance. I signed the affidavit, and that's why we're here.
Okay, that's your question.
Yes, sure. And one.
Was that trailer, was that on a separate meter, electric meter?
No, sir.
It was not on a separate electric meter.
No.
How was he getting electric to it?
It got attached to the other trailer.
You need to be sworn.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And state your name and address, please.
My name is Asif Lalani, address is 7302 Carrington Island in Tampa, B3634. And I'm the owner of the property.
You own Taylor Road property, South. Thank you.
So you basically had both trailers operating on one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, sorry.
The reason why I was saying that, because if there was another electrical meter that was removed, then that's something we can check on, see the date and time that was removed to move the trailer.
That was the reason we went through all this, because it was not supposed to be there. So we took it out in timely manner. Because of Hurricane Ian, we were like 4 days late. Hurricane Ian came on that time. So it got our contractor pushed a few days, because he was trying, because everything is just, so because of that pandemic, everyone has excuses now. It's not easy to get anything done in timely manner. You have to beg people to come out to get the job done here. I paid this gentleman in October to get the job done, but he's a busy man. Like today, he's sitting here all day. There's tree broke somewhere and blocked the whole drive-through in one of the mobile home parks. And I begged him to come here because he has to do, and he's just telling me since he's sitting there, I gotta go. And we happened to came last year. I'm sorry, thanks for your time.
Okay, I have a question. If I can address the inspectors. I see, we had a glitch in the system. There's definite movement going on here that is going for We stipulated that the fine should be only 1,500 as opposed to 40,000. I don't know who's responsible for that, but maybe you guys can answer that question. If it's a contest, the contest, we can go ahead and agree with the contest based on the fact he pays the fine of $1,500.
The order was, we had to come into compliance September 20th. Officer Masson visited the property September 23rd. There is an affidavit on record that he did sign the affidavit of non-compliance of 9/23rd. There was a glitch in the system, in the processing and the mailing of the notice that he was there. So your order, he complied with it, he did that. The order to request a reinspection. There's no evidence that the mobile homes were removed in October, as they say. So it's up to you to decide which way you want to decide, but we did our part. And as far as we know, the property came into compliance February 2023.
It was supposed to be in compliance when?
September 23rd, 2022.
22.
In all due respect, that she's got the dates wrong. It's supposed to be in compliance on the 20th. Officer Masson inspected it on the 23rd.
23rd, correct.
We don't dispute that. The problem is, my client doesn't get notice until it's mailed out on February the 8th. And then sure, at that point, it's incumbent upon him. But he doesn't even know that this is ongoing, and for them to backdate it, when the notice always goes out contemporaneously to the inspection. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying it's a due process violation for my client to pay $38,500 more than he should have to pay because what was a glitch in the system, which I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. It's just fundamentally unfair. And we can prove when that trailer was moved. But if the board's inclined to give my client the opportunity to pay a $1,500 fine, he will do that immediately. The board has the authority to reduce the fine, as you know.
Can you give me a second?
Yes.
Good afternoon, board members. Can you hear me? Board members, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Board, if you don't mind, can I just ask the attorney something? So you're saying you're able to provide proof of the date that it was removed. You have your contractor here. Do you have the evidence now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you provide that?
Well, I think it's for the board to decide, in all due respect. I think there's a great deal of deference paid to code enforcement officers here. They seem to run the show, in all due respect, it's the board's proceeding.
Well,
and the board's in charge.
Right. The only thing I gotta say is, the inspector's doing his job. And obviously the gentleman forgot to give him a call, okay? Or didn't realize they was giving a call. We're thinking about giving you the benefit of the doubt, not that we do not believe the inspector, okay? And my theory is, just let's get this stuff in compliance, and then go on. But by all means, we're not saying we don't agree with the inspector or we don't
I'm not
believe the inspector, because the gentleman forgot to call it in. And I think there's other ways that he could have proved it, and just hear me on this. If that trailer was tied in, and what I would say, if that trailer was tied into another meter, okay, then obviously the electric bill would be in half or a lot lower. If he would have brought electric bill in to where we could see that the electric was a lot lower on that bill, then I'd be more inclined to say yes. Evidently, the trailer was gone because the electric bill would never gone down. But he didn't bring any evidence either. So my attitude is I don't want to blame anything on the code enforcement, but on the other hand, my idea is we just want to make sure it's in compliance now. He is being penalized because he didn't make the phone call, okay, which I'm okay with that. And then plus your time here too. But that is what I was just discussing now. The 1,500, I'm more inclined to say, yeah, he's penalized enough. It wasn't that he was that far off. He did get it done. He just failed to make the phone call, from what I'm understanding.
The only thing I would, everything you're saying is correct. And I'm not claiming that Officer Ness isn't telling the truth about the September 23rd inspection. I believe that happened. The only thing I would respectfully say is that until my client got notice, he wouldn't have had a reason to make a phone call because he didn't know it had been inspected and found to be in non-compliance. That's the only thing I would take exception to, is that he didn't receive the notice until he was completed. But if the board's inclined, I think 1,500 is appropriate. I think that's what he.
For board members, because of the audio problems, the county attorney has emailed me, and she says that the board needs to rule on that contest first. That can address the fine down the road.
I respectfully disagree. The statute and the code are very clear that the board may reduce the fine at any time.
But the board has to rule on the contest first.
Well, that's part of the contest.
No, it's not part of the contest. That's part of a separate issue. That's a fine.
I'm contesting the amount of the fine. I'm contesting the amount.
I want to ask a question here that, you all have been here in some way, shape, or form 6 times. With regards, it's been continued 6 times with continues and always excessive dwelling. And then the final order is issued for the fine. And I know there was a delay in maybe a paper notification in the mail, but wouldn't it make sense to notify somebody when you got it in compliance after you've been here 6 times?
Again, in all due respect, if you haven't been told there's a finding of non-compliance, why would you do that? Because the law requires, the section, the code's very clear. It's 14-27.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that part. I just find
We just can't skip over that. And
I'm not excited that we're in compliance now. I'm going to call somebody. Okay.
Well, I didn't tell him not to call anybody, but he didn't know that it was inspected.
But he did know of the reinspection date of 9/23, correct, right?
Pardon me, ma'am?
He did know of the reinspection date of 9/20. He knew that the board ordered for him to come into compliance at 9/20. So if he knew that that was the reinspection date, you would think it would be his responsibility to contact someone to let them know to go to the property and reinspect, correct? Let me just comment that.
I'm glad that you're really, that your question, but that wasn't the reinspection. And I don't know why the county.
We're gonna stop the argument right now. I'm waiting for a decision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So.
I have the county attorney on the line. I'm going to put her on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
having issues with my mic. Okay, so the board, my understanding is it's a contest, so I would ask the board to rule on the matter of the contest first. And then we will address the fine next.
That's what we need to hear. So, that's what we need to hear. So what we're gonna be in the position to do is so that somebody will make that, we're gonna deny the contest, okay? But then we're gonna address the fines and stipulate that at $1,500 in a case of.
I wouldn't be finding my client, Your Honor. I mean, Mr. Chairman, so I'm so used to being in front of a judge, I apologize.
So that's the way that,
Okay, so you wanna just deny the contest, okay?
I'm prepared to make a motion that we deny the contest on case number
C 2000.
3218.
Okay, second on that?
I'll second.
Second by.
I'll second.
Second.
Mike.
And then, okay, now, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, contest has been denied. Now, we're gonna go ahead and rule again on the fines. Sorry for all the technical problems that we had today. This has been the longest day that I've seen in a long time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, she concurred with what I said, that you do have the authority to.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and make a motion on that? Let's reduce the fine $1,500. Yeah. Change. 10% interest.
I would like to make a motion in case CE 203218 that we establish the fine that's due to an amount of $1,500.
The amount was previously $40,000 to be reduced to $1,500.
The fine is currently at 40,000, so you would state that.
Okay. This motion reduces a fine of $40,000 to the $1,500 state.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Michael, all in favor? Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you all very much. Okay. Next case.
The next case is number 44 under contest, CD 22012132, Matthew R. Moran, 8606 Duplo Drive. This is another contest. Good morning, afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely, nothing but the truth.
And would you say your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, it's Matthew Richard Moran, 8606 Tupelo Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33637.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Leo Padilla, Hillsborough County Board of Enforcement. I'm really prepared Yeah, to be honest, Mr. Moran is a repeat violator. He had a case that was adjudicated, KCE 2021-002, page 32 was adjudicated on 10/18/2021. Violation of in question was open outside stores. He went to court. He came here before you guys on the I believe it was 127. It was 45 days or $300 per day. It would have been over on 3/14/2023. I subsequently came out after that point to see if he was correct. He was not. He requested me to come out himself on 3/18, which I did. He was not there. There was another subsequent inspection by my supervisor, which he got explained each time. Whenever we come out, we explain to him what he has to do, because he mandates that. He did not do it. Finally, on 3/30, I came out again. I complied. That's why we're here now. He did comply everything, but I guess there was a fine between on the 14th through the 30th. And that's what he's contesting.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I had appeared before the board January 27th, and the board had made a rule. It was 3 days with which an arrangement was made for which Mr. Padilla would identify, because I had expressed there was communication issues. And that was considered by the code enforcement, and they had arranged for a meeting with me 3 days after the 27th, which was going to be on a Monday. It was a Friday, the 27th. So on Monday, we had made an arrangement for a meeting. Now, I've been given 45 days by the magistrate, and that's clearly expressed, but Mr. Padilla didn't understand it that way. When he showed up on Monday, it was that I was supposed to have everything in compliance at that point. He had ignored the 45 day. And in fact, I can show you where that is the case, because he hung up a letter, and it's here. On my door on the February 7th, I had arranged, because I was content, I didn't need the 45 days. I was already in compliance. So on the Monday we met, where he would have been mistaken, and I said, thinking that I had to have it all within compliance within 3 days, ignoring the 45-day determination that the board had given. And I appreciate the fact that you had given 45, but I didn't need that at that point. So an arrangement was made for the following day, Tuesday, for Mr. Padilla to show up, because I was more than willing to have everything satisfied at that point. But Mr. Padilla didn't show up the following day. What he did do is show up the day after that, where I was there the whole time, but I've had very serious health problems over the last year. If you look at my feet right now, I've been bleeding internally for the last month. I'm standing here right now, I'm kind of all, the amount of fluid that's gained in my leg, that's all within the last week. 3 weeks prior, I was vomiting every day. He's aware I have these health issues. And so when I tell him in the mornings I'm almost incapacitated, I'm vomiting, I've lost on my teeth. So he'll show up as early as possible. And so he didn't leave, he shows up, obviously, he didn't show up for the meeting we had arranged for the 4th day, where I was more than willing to have the case, everything within compliance. So Mr. Padilla had left a note on the door saying the fines start today. And this is February 7th, And this is here, that notice, where he had left just on my door, which is an indication that he hadn't paid attention to the magistrate's order of the 45 days. And I, in his mind, had to have it done within 3 days, which was really what was clearly expressed by the man, was the time for him to identify the problem. Now, actually, when we met on that third day of Monday, I thought we had a very good conversation. It was actually quite nice. Everything that I had asked for, he was willing to say, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So I felt on that day, we'd reached a point where, and in fact, he had said this much to me, that he wasn't going to, because this is not neighbor complaints, he's initiating. Now, Mr. Padilla was, as I said, everything that I'd asked, because there's a sitting area, I came in with a person who lives with me, an 84-year-old man who has cancer and serious problems. And he doesn't get cell phone reception in the house so well. So there's a sitting area out in the front with chairs and a couple tables. And he had said all that was fine.
Can I ask you to talk into that microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry. And so I'm more than willing to do whatever. And the last thing I want is any trouble with code enforcement. I'm a landlord outside of this. This is my home. I've been there for 35 years. And so at the point that he's saying that the fines are getting 4 days later, well, it had been 45 days was what I had been given. So on the 45th day, I guess he shows up and was showing that there were violations. Now, he'd spoken to me and he said that he wasn't going to initiate anything further on me, that he was going to take the complaint. I said, God bless you for that. And I was very prudent, because the last thing I can afford is the fines that are going to be, I already have a case where it's 4,000 and some days that the fines had occurred. Now, from the entire time, I don't understand where I've been out of it, because everything he's asked me to do, I do. And then he'd show up, like say for instance, and all the things that he had said, well, that had changed. So the things that he said were fine, why didn't I already have that done? So, I mean, if I would know, absolutely, because I feel if I had recording, I could, all right, fine. You want this done, I'll do it. And that's been the entire time. I'm more than willing, whatever needs to be done. So the problem for me has been that he'll say it's fine, and then the next time.
All right, you're already 9 minutes into your 10-minute allocation. All right, so real quick, why should you contest this? Why should we?
Well, because I feel I've done everything he's asked the whole time.
In a time frame that?
In the time frame, and if, you know, so I was with him.
He has not done what we requested. That's why I went out, I came out on his request to come out. Like I said, he wasn't there, he wasn't available, he didn't answer his phone. Supervisor even came out. Okay, so that takes it away from me, and I got somebody above me that's coming out. He was still not in compliance. He has a history of doing this, and it goes all the way back to 2014. So he's known for doing this type of stuff. Anytime he has asked me to come out, I try to come out, he says the same thing. I'm in compliance, but it's not in compliance, and I explain to him what he needs to do, and he does not do it. Okay.
All right, now, if you remember when I appeared on the 27th, Mr. Padilla had a different position. It was that I would listen to what he was saying, always get within compliance. But then I would fall back, so I would always do what he asked, but then I would fall back and repeat again. That was the claim. I would dispute that as well, because, but that would be closer to the truth than what he's saying now, that I'm not able to listen to him.
Okay.
And that I'm always.
Do you understand what is being asked of you at this point in time?
Well,
I'm seeing pictures here.
Yes, I've been told that I'm in compliance at this point, that there was that period.
When you're in compliance,
Board members, his fine did start on the 14th, which is the 45 days. Well, the day after the 45 days, right? Because the recheck was on the 14th. So it started on the 14th, and the fine stopped on March 30th, day of compliance. So he is in compliance as of today.
And I'll make the claim I was in compliance the whole time.
What's the fine?
The total fine is $4,800.
And I clearly, I do need to make this clear. I have done whatever he's asked. And then it will change. He'll say things that were fine are no longer fine. And as far as when Mr. Pine came out, I did everything he asked. And then the following day, when he came out to inspect, he said it doesn't matter what Mr. Pine said is fine. That he had a different, so when he said, do this, I did it. And then Mr. Padilla came out and he said, well, just because you did what his supervisor had asked doesn't mean that you've actually.
okay, I'd like to hear what this other gentleman wanted to say.
Good afternoon, Eric Ryan, code enforcement. I'm the supervisor that Officer Padilla referred to. I do want to point out that the fines, the reason why they're in excess of $4,000 after being only running for, I think, less than 2 weeks, is that this was a repeat violation. So the fines were higher. This is not the first time this issue has been adjudicated there. Some of these photos you're looking at were taken by me after the recheck due date. I saw paint cans, spray paint cans, a spice rack full of spices, engine oil containers, gas cans,
None of
whole
that.
whole lot of other material just outside in the front of the house. So he most definitely was not in compliance on the due date within the 45 days. He came into compliance on March 30th. So there was a approximately 2-week period where fine ran because he was not in compliance.
The only thing I have to say for that, all those things he stated were there. And that's the porch, and there's the oil, and that was there at the time he came. But Mr. Padilla had not asked me to move any of that stuff. I kept that underneath the tree. It's not visible from the road or anything that you can see.
Mr. Chair?
And that is all been moved, of course. But, and I did everything that he asked me to do.
This is the contest where you either agree with it or we disagree with it. It's up to the board now. I think we've heard enough testimony, okay?
I appreciate it.
You may disagree, but well, that's a directive.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move in case number CE 22012132 that we deny the contest due to the testimony received.
Okay. Second to that?
That he did not have it done in time. I did not.
Okay. Second, so you second. All right, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, you're.
I mean, the fines, I mean, I.
You worked that out with the county.
I mean, I can't even see a doctor right now, and then I'm collapsing.
You worked that out with the county, sir. Thank you.
There's nothing I
Have a
can
good
do.
day.
In the audience, we do have cases.
Here we go. Nobody in the audience. Yes, we do. We're gray shirts. We do have people in there. Wearing gray shirts. I thought they were brothers and sisters. Okay. Seeing that there is no one in presence in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda, the board will now review the case material previously provided by the county staff, and if the board finds the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Code Board, and is listed in staff presentation, the board ruling in this case will be based on the evidence presented on the gravity of the violation, the act taken by the violator, and the violator's history in determining the amount of fines that will be assessed. We will start this out with Mr. Michael. Make the ruling on the first case. All right. Okay, we'll start out with Michael making the first decision, and then we'll move to the young lady next to me, and then the young lady next to her, and then we'll move back to Michael. Okay? All right, first case.
Page 2, number 3, under continued cases, case number CE 2200-2690. The owner is the Jala Suki Trust, 9014 Scott Wilson Lane. This case was continued from the prior hearing. Got my papers messed up. It was continued from a prior hearing.
Okay.
May 26th.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Christopher.
Christopher Bishop, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. We're requesting this be pushed 30 days, continuance in front of the county attorney.
No, not now.
They're requesting a 30-day continuance.
Yes, sir.
I grant 30 days.
Second,
Second. Clayton.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Continuance for 30 days?
30 days to our next hearing date,
Okay,
which
gotcha.
is, what is it?
May 26th.
May 26th. Thank you.
I have it memorized.
Thank you.
Okay, next case is number 4, CE 2200-7141. This case was pulled for staff. Page 3, number 6, CE 2300-2980. This case had a new owner and it's closed. Page 4, number 7, CE 2201-4451. The owner is Marshall Cosby and India Gaines Cosby, 23 Goins Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning, Officer Dave Jones, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement for case CE 2201-4451, 123 Goins Drive, Southern Florida, 33584. Case was opened 12/8/22 for commercial vehicles. I was in contact with the owner. The owner actually wanted me to say he was here earlier, but he underestimated how long he was going to be here, so we got to go back to work. But he did state that he was in compliance, that I can come by anytime. And that's what we are right now.
Who is in compliance, he's saying?
He's saying he told me he was.
So we'll do 7 days and $200 a day.
7 days, $200 a day. Second, Clayton. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, 7 days, $200 a day.
Page 6, number 11, CE 2201-2009. This case complied April 25, 2023. Page 7, number 13, CE 2201-4117. The owner is MMAM Properties LLC, and the location is a vacant lot between 12314 and 12320 Worcester Avenue. And we have service and no one is present.
Hello, this is case CE 22014117. I'm Officer Sarah Franco with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement.
property in question is located at 12318, or in between both of the parcels. Worcester Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33624, and is currently a vacant lot. Property is owned by MMAM Properties LLC, not occupied and not foreclosure. First inspected November 30th of last year, and this is the first case by code enforcement. Have made 11 site visits at this property. 2 violations cited are accumulations and vagrants, and both are still currently present. During my inspections, I have come in contact with the property manager, which is the building site manager. They are going to build some houses on there, and the property owner. And they were really adamant at first about getting it all cleaned up, the vagrants were on, and then they started, and that's what it looks like now. So, and I haven't been able to make contact since.
So you haven't had any contact with them?
Not in the past couple inspections, they've ghosted me, so
What would you recommend?
3 days, please. Because these really, they really upset me. 3 days, no.
3 days. 3 days. I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $350 a day being set.
I second it.
It's a nuisance for the community. I mean, that area is bad anyway, but it just makes it worse.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed, 3 days, 350.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
No, that's Next case.
AJ number 15, CE 2200-0733. This case was pulled for staff. Page 11, number 21, CE 2201-4212. The owner is Pacific Allen LLC. 14417 Hellenic Drive. And the exact location is 14424 Hellenic Drive, Unit M105. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon. I'm Officer Jose Pereira from Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property located at 14424 Hellenic Drive, Unit M105 on April 7, 2023. My first site visit was December 1st, 2022. I cited the property for sink, cabinet, kitchen, infestation of roaches, interior surface. Tenant moved out at the beginning of this year, but this is one of my property that the manager is really not seeing eye to eye with me. Even though the tenant moved out, she indicated that the place is gonna stay vacant and she's not gonna do any work on it until she's waiting for corporate to give her the A-OK. I had a previous case that funds are running, and same thing, there's a hole in the ceiling. This was, I believe, this year in February, and still, she hasn't fixed that unit as well, so it's one more problem.
But since you don't see eye to eye, is she taller than you? Or?
5'5".
What do you recommend?
10 days.
What would you like?
10 days. 10 days and 300.
Okay.
Same place, so she can take care of the bugs. Make a motion, how many days?
10 days, please.
I make a motion, 10 days to have it done, $350 a day.
Second?
Second, Clayton.
All in favor? All right. 10 days, 350.
Excellent.
He's not.
Not many, 2 more cases.
Number 22, CE 2201-4229, Pacific Hellenic LLC, and this one's 14426 Hellenic Drive, apartment 101. We have service and no one is present.
Same property, same manager. I'm Jose Pereira from Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property at 14417 Hellenic Drive, Unit 101 on April 7th. My first visit was December 5th, 2022. The tenant still occupied the unit. It was cited for the dishwasher. It's not working, functioning correctly. The kitchen cabinets and bathroom cabinets are just falling apart. Interior surface is black organic substance on the ceiling at the bathroom and hallways. And the AC closet door, the door just fell off. Once again, I spoke with the manager and we not seen that out.
10 days, $350 a day. 10 days.
10 days, 350, second.
A second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? Okay, 10 days, 350.
Still there, you need to get a different area.
Page 12, number 23, CE 22014959, Pacifica Hellenic LLC. And this one's at 14426 Helena Drive, apartment MM105. We have service and no one is present.
Same property, same manager. My name is Jose with the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property located at 14426 Helena Drive, unit MM105 on April 7th, 2023. My first visit was December 21, 2022, and I cited the property for infestation of roaches, interior surface, plumbing, the kitchen sink is leaking, the exhaust fan is not working, and it is tenant occupied. And once again, the manager and
I grant 10 days to come into compliance. Compliance is not achieved by that date. A fine of $350 a day be assessed.
Second.
I'll second.
Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 10 days, 350.
Thank you so much. Welcome aboard. Take care.
Next.
Number 24, CE 21010808, this case complied April 25th, 2023. Page 13, number 25, CE 22013680, the owner is Carmen J. Perez, 6428 Town and Country Boulevard. We have service and no one is present.
Jose?
Hello, Jose Reyes, County Code
The
Enforcement.
real Jose, right?
I inspected the property at 6428 Town and Country Boulevard on November 6th of 2022. They were cited for fences, accumulations, nuisance conditions, and overgrowth. They complied with fence violation on February 14th of 2023 and the overgrowth on April 4th of 2023. The accumulations and nuisance conditions still exist. I did speak to her yesterday. She was going to be here, but she also has a civil case today. She said she hired someone to basically cut the tree that fell into some pieces so she can get rid of it and to pick up the fence material and all the accumulations. She said if she could get 2 weeks, 14 days to do it. There's no life safety.
I'll make a motion. 14 days, $350.
Thank you.
Second. Second, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
14 days, 350.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Next case.
Page 14, number 28, CE 22013622. The owner is Genesis Mora Veliz and Veliz Jose A. Lopez, 7001 North Lewis Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon, my name is Code Officer Hernandez, County Code. This particular case is a wreck. Property was initially inspected due to a complaint of commercial vehicles in the area on 12/5/2022. Contact was made with the owner. Vehicle is on the property, so the truck is there. Follow-up inspections were made, at which point on 03/13/2023 was the last time the vehicle was there. The owner did not replace, as you can see, it's corner lot. The next picture should show the truck in the back. Either way, it's gone as of 3/13/2023, and based on history, there were prior cases on that property for requesting for remain.
Oh, what?
For remain.
Remain?
I'm sorry, it's a remain compliance, Rick.
So it is in compliance.
It's in compliance now, the truck's gone, they have a place to stay, but based on prior inspections and history on the property for the same item, we just, request for remain.
Still fix it.
That whole area is prone to commercial vehicles.
make a motion in case number CE 22013622. Based on the evidence presented, I found the property was in violation of the Hillsborough County Code as ordinance is presented. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with this code provision in order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Second,
I'll second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next case.
Number 29, C 22014111, this case complied April 27th. Page 15, number 30, CE 22014685, this case complied April 27th. That was 30, and that concludes, okay, page 19, number 35, CE 234517, this case was pulled for staff, and that concludes the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You brought an engine in my fire.
I'm supposed to leave this paragraph.
Adjourn the meeting.
Oh. Adjourn.
There we go.
Thank you.
Wonderful.